Hello and welcome to the Trade Ideas Market Recap for Tuesday, July the 29th. My name is Barry Anderson. I'm the moderator of the Trade Ideas Trading Room. This is the address to get into the room. You can log in as a guest or use your Facebook or your Twitter account to log in. Well, that's not the first trade I did. Let me bring up that one. And today was a little bit choppy for me, not a particularly good one for me, but you run into days like this and you just have to forget about them and move on. Now, unfortunately, I had some computer issues also. So normally you're going to see the strategies that I use to trade these stocks, but I was having some difficulties and I had to do a reboot. So consequently, I don't have a list of the stocks with trade ideas in the ones that I wanted to show you. But you'll just have to just bear with me. I mean, I think it'll be fairly obvious why I was taking a look at these. IDTI came from the pre-market scanning. You can see that it closed here yesterday at 1356 and it was very active in the pre-market. So I'd already known about it in the pre-market. So it was already thumbnailed for me. And I opened at 1468. I think it had earnings today or something. And these are 5 minute candles. So it had, a nice first, obviously a giant first 5 minute candle. Bit of a doji coming here, buyers, sellers, uncertain what was going to happen. But then the next one was another nice candle. So I decided to take the trade right here at 1527, hoping, of course, that it would just continue up. And it didn't. And I exited the trade as it was chopping around this area. In fact, on this candle right here, I decided to get out of the trade. It just didn't seem to have that lift that I was looking for. So I exited the trade at 1523, which is a pretty good exit because it just fell down to almost 15. I noticed it's kind of, it did recover later on in the day, but this choppy action just didn't give me any confidence. So I was out of the trade for a small loss. The next trade was CI, and CI you can probably recognize came from my bounce alert. My bounce alert is looking for stocks that have several 5 minute candles down in a row. I'm looking for some kind of a bottom. I would have been alerted to it right in this area here. I would have watched it keep going down, and I would have seen. So this was sort of the bottom, 94.60 in this area. This green candle also touched that bottom, and so it just looked like it had that feel of a lift. Now, typically, what I like to do is like to wait for it to clear like the high of the last red candle. But I got a little bit aggressive, took the trade at 94.75, and I actually exited at $95. It broke above 95 here. I actually sold half at 94.99, and then the other half as it was coming back down through 95 for at 95. So not a great trade, but at least it was a winner. The next one was OSK, and OSK was a really tough one. OSK again, another bounce play. You can see the candles coming down, and I actually think I was alerted to it on this candle here. Watch this little bounce here, but this was a really whippy, especially at the beginning of the day, was very whippy. Again, these are 5 minute candles, and you can see the high of this is 48.72, and the low is 48.15. So that's a very wide range when you're trying to day trade. So, but it was still, it was still on my alert in terms of something that I knew I wanted to keep following to see if I maybe could catch a bottom. And so what I did was I watched it and it chopped around this area here and it looked like it was going to hold at the 47. And a number of us I think were watching it at that point. And so on this candle here, this green candle here, when it finally popped above 47, looked like for good, hopefully for good. I took the trade at 47.10, and you can see that it hit 47.26, and the next candle was 47.29, and it looked like it might have been on its way. And it would have been tremendous had it, continued because you're talking 47.96. Even if it got up to 50 or 49 in this area, it might have had a tremendous bounce. But it didn't, and I literally had said in the room that if it broke down below 47.10, I was going to get out of it, basically at my buy. I didn't even get a chance to sell it at 47.10. It blew right through there, and I was very fortunate to get out at 47.01 because, look what happened. It made it all the way down to 46.51 before it stabilized, and so that would have been a much bigger loss than had I not been able to exit at 47.01. And then you see I had another breakdown here. So just a tough trader, especially if you're trying to play the bounce. The next one was CTL. And CTL, the same sort of thing. Again, I was alerted to it on the bounce. I toyed with it in this area, but I held off. And as it was coming back up, I decided it looked like it had a little bit of a base here, and I thought I would take the trade at 41.19. It looked like it wanted to pop back up and maybe, reclaim some of the gap. And then you can see in the pre-market, I mean, look at this. And this is a stock that's actually up for the day. This is where it closed. And this is a media stock, and it had something to do with Verizon and T and a few of the other media stocks because you can see the incredible jump it had, but it just kept losing and losing and losing. But oftentimes, of course, you're looking like typically in the bounce plays, I'm looking for stocks that are beaten up for the day. So they're down for the day also, not they're not up for the day. But in this particular case, you could argue that this was beaten up from the high, certainly. But oftentimes they'll recover at least half. But in this particular case, it didn't. 41.19, and another one in which I escaped. I truly mean that. I escaped at 41.04 because this really, I think on this candle, of course, got me out, and it went down to 40.72. It recovered a little bit, but I was very lucky to get out at 41.04. So there was another loss. And then the last trade was Nielsen. And then now again, another bounce play. Saw it here. And I know one of our good traders in the room, Matt. He saw it probably here, and he sort of alerted to us. And I think he got in around this level. And you can see it's a nice little pattern, a little bit of a consolidation right here, and then the pop. And I'm not 100% sure when he got in, but I know that he definitely got in and made some money. Now I did not get in there. I actually got in right here. And you notice I don't have it annotated because I didn't, and I'm only going over this because I did say in the room, it was sort of a retrospective one because I didn't post it. I'm telling you this now because I did take it later on, but I ended up selling just around right here. In fact, I took it here and I sold right around here, just over the when it popped up and then back down. But I did enter it again, 47.36. I saw this little pattern that came back down and then up, and I thought, okay, if it can break above, if it can get up to this level, which was 47.35, that's the high of this candle right here. I decided I wanted to take the trade, and that's exactly what I did. Took it at 47.36, a little bit of chop here, but then it had a nice move up to 47.68 where I peeled off half, and I was wondering if we could get through 48. It didn't. So on this candle right here, I took out the other half of 47, excuse me, 47.74. So thanks to a Matt for that one for alerting me. So not a great day, but these days will happen. And tomorrow, I don't know what it's going to bring because again, we have the FOMC minutes tomorrow. So early trades are probably the order of the day, and then again for me, probably an hour before 2 o'clock Eastern, I'm probably going to be sitting on my hands and or being very cautious, and maybe even a couple hours, because well, an hour before because it could get kind of whippy. Everybody's trying to anticipate what's going to happen, but 2 hours before is when the market can get very boring and nothing might happen. So, but we'll have to see. I've been surprised before, and so you never know. So that's it for today. Just bring back the cover page. Again, show you here's the address to get in. And I hope to see you in the trading room tomorrow.